You thought we were done with drama. You'd be wrong. Box office this weekend, Don't Worry, Darling came in #1 with $19.2 million, either despite the drama or because of it. I don't know if people were curious to see what all the fuss was about. It's got terrible reviews, including ours, which you can see here, but it's at like 38% on the tomato meter, so I can't imagine that it will have a great second weekend.
Anecdotally, from what I've heard from various people online who went to see it opening weekend, lots of the Harry Styles fans turned out en masse, with a chaperone when necessary, since it is an R-rated movie. But that's the kind of thing where it's like they're all going to show up the first weekend. So the second weekend will tell. I'm not going to like be gleeful over this movie's failure, but it is, it is a disappointment.
Right. I heard that girls were like screaming and cheering when Harry Styles came on and then booing Olivia Wilde. And of course, there's more Don't Worry, Darling drama. Just because the movie is out and done, you thought we were done with drama. You'd be wrong, because now Kiki Lane, who has a really pivotal supporting role in it, is saying that like most of her stuff got cut out. And that she and the actor who plays her husband in it, Ariel Stachel, they have like very minimal time, and they both posted about how they're like on the cutting room floor, but then she wrote like #GotMyCheck. So
I mean, that happens in movies all the time. I mean, talk to Adrian Brody about his starring role in The Thin Red Line sometime, I mean, I don't know what the mechanics are for that, but I know that generally speaking, like, when people talk about, I want to see that first cut that was 4.5 hours. Like, yeah, no, you don't. There's a reason no one ever sees that cut, And so, I mean, that sucks. But like, again, yes, she got paid. She gets to be in it. She can always say, I was one of the stars of Don't Worry, Darling.
Right. And she and her co-star, the guy who plays her husband, they actually like fell in love while making the movie. And so,
well, okay then.
There's that. But then Florence Pugh posted a whole bunch of behind the scenes photos with this very nice like message of gratitude. She had not done any press. She had kind of like pulled herself away from all of the media mania of this. And, she has kind of come out looking great. Like she's done everything right. And this was a nice, classy move, to show everything's fine.
She is a very savvy young actress. I think she understands how all of this works.
And I mentioned also Avatar came out, and it was like huge globally, $10 million in the US, like $30 million worldwide. So there's clearly an interest in seeing Avatar again. When you go see Avatar again in this 4K re-release, stay through the credits, because there's a little snippet of the new Avatar, which looks so great. Like, it looks incredibly beautiful. So we'll talk about that in our Avatar review.
Yes.
Down the road, James Earl Jones says he is no longer going to voice Darth Vader. And like, the man is 91 years old.
Yeah.
Right? Give him a break.
I get it. But the other part of that being that he has agreed to allow Disney to sort of AI his voice into future Star Wars stuff. And I'm kind of two minds here. Like, on the one hand, like, we're already way down this road. We had CG Leia in Rogue One and CG Peter Cushing a couple times, I think. And, I see where they want to like maintain this sense of continuity, but as our good friend William Bibbiani pointed out, like, would we like to have missed the Heath Ledger and River Phoenix Joaquin Phoenix Jokers if they had insisted on like having AI Cesar Romero? I mean, I think roles change and actors change. Like Dumbledore. Do you want CG Richard Harris, or do you want Michael Gambon to come in? So part of me is like, why not just let a new generation of performers take on these roles? And part of it's like, well, there's something about Star Wars that people are so locked into it, and it has to be exactly the way it was when they were 8, and so here we are.
It's iconic, but he's okay with this. He's like, please go ahead. It's not like they're taking his voice and, the richness of it and how specific it is and just doing what they want with it. Like, he's cool with it.
Yeah.
It's an interesting debate to have.
Look, I hope his estate is making money off of this after he's no longer with us. I hope he got a nice settlement in all of this. Also, by the way, they just renamed one of the Broadway theaters the James Earl Jones Theater.
Oh, okay.
Which is very cool.
Russia is pulling out of the Oscars. Russia is boycotting the Oscars. They are not sending a film as a submission for the foreign language category consideration. They're taking their ball and going home.
Which means the USA is going to win all the gymnastic gold medals.
We're not juicing. So the thing is, like, you know, they have had several films shortlisted in 2017. Loveless was nominated for the best foreign language category. But I can't even imagine the kind of like totally deserved vitriol that Russia would receive in this kind of international cinema forum. I mean, like they're taking their ball and going home, but also like the world would understandably and, you know, reasonably give them shit for being there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one. It's like, again, like I was just referencing the 80 and 84 Olympics, you know, where the US and the then USSR were sort of like playing games with that kind of stuff. And you like to think that somehow like arts and sports are above, you know, kind of political considerations, but no, I guess not, you know, and you're right. I think it would be hard for people to be objective about whatever film Russia did decide to submit this year. So they may just, this might just be their preemptive way of not only like taking, you know, getting to be like, man, I don't want your dumb award anyway, but also kind of acknowledging you weren't going to give it to us this year. So yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. The second Taylor Hawkins tribute is tonight in LA. There was a huge one at Wembley Stadium in London earlier this month. And it's this whole huge array of stars. It's the Foo Fighters playing, but also like Miley Cyrus and Pink and Josh Homme and just a whole bunch of different artists celebrating his life and his talent. And we never talked about Taylor Hawkins because I was on vacation when he died. It was awful. Just a huge talent and just so hugely likable. And so that is going on tonight. The first one was being live streamed. I don't think this is, but I'm sure it'll be available somewhere in the world at some point as a fundraiser of some sort. Rihanna is going to play the Super Bowl halftime show. I don't know if it's just her.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it often winds up being an escalating amount of announcements about what's going on. But, you know, yeah, she brings it live, so I'm sure she'll be great.
True Detective Season 4 has kind of an interesting cast. When I mention that.
So yeah, this is a show that's always kind of known for its amazing ensemble casts. And this year we've got John Hawkes, Christopher Eccleston, Finn Bennett, Anna Lamb, Callie Reese from Catch the Fair One, who's a Spirit Award nominee this year, who's really great. And also Fiona Shaw. So yeah, I'm in.
Fiona Shaw, always good. Fiona Shaw on Andor, which we're reviewing on our Patreon.
Indeed.
And then Squid Game Season 2 is coming out. And I know so many of you guys have asked us to do Squid Game, and we missed all of Season 1. So, Alonso, you were thinking what? We recap Season 1 ahead of Season 2 beginning?
I thought maybe we would watch Season 1, do just like a one and done review of the whole season, put it here on YouTube for folks who've been asking, and then over on our Patreon, do recaps of each episode of Season 2 in the way that we're recapping currently shows like Andor and She-Hulk and The Handmaid's Tale. So yeah, I'm down. I'd like to give it a shot. I've heard nothing but great things, and so this is a good prompt to do so.
You're ready for dystopia.
I guess.
Now's the time for dystopia. Embrace it. And then Louise Fletcher died in the last several days at age 88, known mostly for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which earned her an Academy Award. And I guess she was sort of typecast after that and pigeonholed as like that kind of truly, deeply, terrifyingly evil character.
Yeah, she played a lot of famously sort of monstrous women in things like Flowers in the Attic and Two Moon Junction. Also had a really interesting role in Exorcist II: The Heretic, which is a much maligned film,